Okay, I kind of have a lot to say, so this might be a longer vlog, but today was the coolest day ever. So, like, I feel like I'm finally at a place where I understand how, at least on a very basic level, to organize my own travel. And that might seem like dumb or like, what the fuck, what are you talking about? But like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much shit I didn't know how to do in terms of travel. Like I don't know. I was just like, oh, go like get a ticket to somewhere, and that was kind of as um basic as it got. But like, I just feel like I know how to like actually plot trips, like who to follow, who to ask certain questions to, how to actually make these like relationships that you have with certain people count toward enhancing your trips. And these are all things that like I don't know, I didn't know how to do before. So I feel like I'm flexing a lot because I know how to do that shit now, and that's wild. Hold on. I'm gonna try to give you guys some better lighting because this is just so fucking crazy. Does this help? Not really, but whatever. This is good you're gonna get. I need to get like some portable type of light situation, but like right now I ain't got it, so it's like no matter what I do. Oh, that's kind of better. Except I can't maybe like oh no. Anyway, so I just kind of want to talk about I had the best dinner conversation tonight, and I just kind of want to summarize like what we talked about, what I learned, why it was great, like the fucking 411, right? Okay, so today I went on a tour and I met this like Indian woman, and she's like a doctor in Louisiana, but she like works with a lot of like black populations. And so as soon as we hit the tour, she was just really kind to me, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then we started talking more. We just had a bunch of it was like her experience is like the polar opposite of mine. Like she'd grown up in some parts of India and she lived in the South. I grew up obviously in California, so that's like the north. And it's just like the more so I feel like I told you guys this before, but I grew up in California. I grew up in this town called Berkeley, and that's a very like collegiate town. So the university is like the major thing in our town or whatever, and I just didn't realize like how surrounded I was by academics until you get older and you reach out and then you start to talk about like, your lived experience. And I went to Oakland School for the Arts for a very short period of time, but even that small period of time, it was very like racialized, which was weird, which is why I feel like I left anyway. And I was like, I tried to toss it and just be like, this has nothing to do with me, because it wasn't an experience that I would have wanted to remember. There was like one person from the school who I feel like maybe impacted my life, and that was this girl, Bree. I feel like I've kind of talked about Bree before, but maybe I'll make a longer video about why Bree was like important to me. It was mostly just because she like looked like me. She was like tall and brown, black, pretty. Like she literally looked like me, but like a taller version of me. And that was really important for me because when I came to the school, I was a fucking freshman. I was this like stick skinny like little freshman. I'd never had like a boyfriend or anything before. And when I came in, Bree was already in the 10th grade. She was in like, there's like foundation troop and then there's like dance troop, because I came in as a dance major. And so you start at foundation troop and you work your way up to dance troop. And she was like one of the most talented dancers in dance troop. So I was like, oh, Bree's the shit. Bree is everything, right? So, and she was just like beautiful, and immediately she saw me, and the dance teacher like paired me with her for some shit, and like she called me like her twin, and the whole thing was great until I started like kind of dating a guy who was like kind of her ex-boyfriend. I didn't know any of this. That started a little bit of fucking drama. He was the worst, like the devil fucking reincarnated, right? He's like Chris Brown. And anyway, not the point, but I like Bree is like the one person I feel like from that program. Like there were other people I hung out with, but I feel like honestly I was hanging out with them to kill time and to like be social or whatever. Cause like I've always been a person in all my like academic spaces. I'll usually like find a friend. I'm not the person who has like a million friends, but I'll have like one or two people that I'm like that I like that I'll hang out with. Everybody else is just like I know, I'll just like wave and I'll keep it pushing. Anyway, that's just like the type of person that I am. But some people take that as like introverted or like not social. And it's not really that. It's just more like I don't connect with like everybody and I'm not trying to. And that's just, they don't, like, people don't know how to deal with like not extroverted like black women, especially because there's no like character that would be a prototype for that. So that's a whole thing. Anyway. Mm, not the point. So there's all these things about my like lived experience in America that have kind of like shaped right like who I am as a person. And I was kind of talking a little bit like about that with the woman that I met tonight. She was great, and we just had a fucking 4-hour conversation about politics, education, this concept of urbanism. So she was talking about urbanism because the population of people that she works with, there was like two different populations that really stood out to her that she ended up working with over her residency and her current like, I think she's like a trauma surgeon or something. And anyway, but she works in like Louisiana, and that's a very like black and poor like town or whatever, and the part that she works in at least. And we were talking about somewhere like Cleveland, Ohio, which was this urban area that I guess did not have internet access. Now, in my perspective, even in America, all poor students, even black poor students, have access to the internet, which is why I've been using the internet so like actively for so long to try to just put content out that is like um specific to me, specific to my experience, something that I like haven't seen before, just so that like it exists, so that when it's time for people to find it, they can like use it as a point of reference. I've been doing this since I started this channel. And I like that. I like that about it. I feel like it makes it a lot more what's a good way to put it? It makes it a lot more genuine, a lot more communal, homey. Maybe that's a good way to put it. And it just felt good. It felt like genuine, right? And like I'm having conversations that are, they parallel conversations that I have in the real world with other people, with people that I'm close with family members, coworkers, colleagues, friends, like whatever. I try to like summarize them here and bring back major point like talking points that I feel like I haven't seen, so that either other people can watch it, pick up on it, make better video essays about it, or just so I can like tag the video in a topic and so I can watch it for myself and come back later and make another video that's more in depth about the topic. But one thing I realized is kind of like this rough draft era thing where if I don't record it and I don't put it out, sometimes I forget the idea, and then the time capsule kind of passes. Like the moment in time of like when I was thinking that thing, when I was feeling that thing, it goes away. And now I'd have to try to recontextualize via pictures or voice notes or you know, written notes that I wrote for myself. But it's not the same thing as me coming on video and like literally just saying what I feel, because I actually do have the vocabulary to describe my thoughts and I'm really good about doing that. So I want to give that to you guys because I have it to offer. Anyway, so let's recap this like urbanism idea. The urbanism idea is kind of like, it's a trap. It's the ghetto trap idea where like really, really talented, really hardworking urban youth. Most of the time, these are Black youth. Because they live in the ghetto, because they are poor, they will not have the opportunity to excel or succeed, because there's so many structural issues around them. This could be health, this could be violence, this could be poverty, this could be food deserts, this could be family members, money, education, work, racism. There's like all of these things that could like stack and stack and stack and just not allow these really talented students to move forward, and that's very unfair. And like the kind of the conclusion that we both came to was like the best way for these people to advance in life is to like leave the community. And that really sucks because sometimes, most of the time, actually, the reality is like a $40 ticket, bus ticket, could get you out of the community that you are currently in. Except if that is your reality and that is the solution that you need to get out, um, it isn't going to be pleasant. And so no one talks about that as a reality, right? Like the reality is you can just take a Greyhound bus ticket and go to the next big city in the next state, and you will literally, you personally will have a different experience because no one there knows you, no one there knows anything about, like, you are a new person. So whatever baggage or whatever experiences that you have, they don't really translate to the new place because like that place is going to socialize you, and then you're going to incorporate with the place, and it's all going to like mesh in for you to have a different experience than you were having in the place before. Now, for these students these like urban students who are in these like urban ghettos where there's not much opportunity, this is really important, because they, in the new place, will have infrastructure that is just better functioning, which will allow their gifts to like shine, and then they will be able to access the sort of American opportunity, the sort of American dream, that so many people have access to, but they currently do not because they live in these like urban ghettos. It's a very complicated kind of concept, but if you know, you know. And I feel like I thought it was something I kind of left behind. Like I started to give the thumbtack example. I made another video about the thumbtack example, so I'm not going to go back into it. But the big idea is like if you see a problem, try to fix the problem so that the person behind you doesn't encounter the same problem. And this example that a manager gave to me basically when I was just like fucking ranting about all the shit that I had seen. And I was just like, there was some societal shit that I was like confused about. And he's like, yeah, but what about the thumbtack example? The thumbtacks, pick up the thumbtacks. And I had kind of gotten to a point where I was like, fuck the thumbtacks. Like, I don't really want to clean up all the mess for all the people coming behind me because fuck them. What about me? Like, well, my experience is not that pleasant right now. There's like things that I'm questioning, that I'm struggling with. So I'm going to personally unpack those things for myself. And honestly, I think that that was the right thing to do for myself. Like, because by me doing that, other people in my community saw like, ooh, here's a gap of something that I could explain. And now we've got like 100 video essays, and I've watched all of them that have helped me understand a whole bunch of shit. Now I'm back at a different place where, first of all, I can explain all those things that I was struggling with conceptually. I would say maybe that was like 4 years ago. And like I have a list of video essays, right, that you can also watch to help you go from where I was to where I am now, and how I got there. And I feel like I hope that this channel kind of becomes that, where you can like roll with me as we go together kind of into the future. And like I have literally tried to like leave the things behind. Like I've geotagged a lot of my videos. I've tried to put references in them where, like, if I mention something, you could just go into the description box and find the video that I'm talking about linked there and click on it and then watch it to hear that experience from the other person that I'm referencing, so that it isn't confusing. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's not this like blank space. Like, if you just go back, you'll see it for yourself. I really like that. I think that's important. I feel like some people kind of refer to things as being like crazy or being like off the whim when they personally don't understand it, because they personally have not taken the time to like understand the thing that the rest of us are talking about. So that's a whole experience. But anyway, man, we talked about so much tonight. It was just so fucking fascinating. Like, some of it was about travel recommendations, which is also great. Like, when you meet new people who are traveling and you are traveling, they have probably been to some places that you have not been to yet, and you can get recommendations for places, and it's great and it's useful. But I think that, like, I guess something that I thought was really interesting is this concept of like neoliberals, and kind of like the problematic nature right now of neoliberals, and why so many people are finding that population to be problematic. I thought it was just me, and also I didn't really have a term for it. I was just like, these people are kind of getting on my nerves, but I couldn't really understand too much why, and like why I personally didn't relate. And then I continued to refer to myself as like a moderate that also seemed to be problematic to quite a lot of people. And you know, I was just like, well, I mean, I personally determine my politics issue by issue. So like, if there's something that I agree with, or if there's a topic that is important to me, say abortion or education access, healthcare access, housing rights, also the sort of responsibility to work, like, is it communism as a concept is actually based on work. It's based on the idea that everyone is supposed to work. It's actually this German concept. I didn't know that until this German friend that I made recently explained it to me. And even the symbol for communism is two working class people with tools in their hands. It looks something like that, and it's actually fascinating. The concept was based on a German philosopher, so I didn't really know that. Maybe I should also contextualize this some way. Like, I'm making this video from the Czech Republic. I'm in Prague right now. And Prague is great. Prague is very inexpensive. Prague has a very rich history. There are so many things about, I guess, the Roman Empire, these like kings and queens that I knew nothing about. I did a Prague castle tour today that was fascinating. I learned so much. Highly recommend you take that tour. There's some other things I really wanted to do in Prague, and I wasn't really able to do them today, but anyway, hopefully I'll probably come back to Prague. Like, it does definitely seems like a really nice place to take a very quick vacation from where I am currently based. So I will probably do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like a bunch of other things to add. I can't believe I'm still talking about urbanism. Like, I'm not. I guess it's important because there's a lot of probably like Black American women who are still dealing with that. And the only thing I could tell you is, like, you know, if you really feel like, if you look around and your family members are not financially contributing to your economic growth, and your male or female partner, whoever you are with, is not contributing to your life goals or your economic goals, like, are they doing things every single day that help you get to whatever your goal is? Like, if your goal is to get into a nicer apartment, if your goal is to accomplish some sort of career goal, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a whatever, and they aren't actively doing shit every single day where they're like helping you reach those goals, those people don't love you and those people don't care about you in a way that is helpful for you. I do think that is very possible that the people care about you, but they don't have the skills to help you. And you need to realize that sometimes those people can help you from afar, and the best help you can give yourself is leaving them. Like they won't help you move forward because they don't have the skills to do so. And if you continue to stay around those people, they're just going to drag you down. And so the best thing that you can actually do for yourself is leave. Take that $40, $50, $100. It's probably not going to be more than $100, and just buy a train ticket and go to the next big city and start your life there. It's going to be hard. Like, you might have to live in a shelter. You might have to work at a Starbucks or a McDonald's or something like that. But in the end, the year that you spend getting on your feet in that new city will enable you to take advantage of the infrastructure in that place without the baggage and burden of those people who are holding you back. And in the long term, that is how you will grow. That's actually how you escape the trap of urbanism. You simply leave the urban environment that you are familiar with. Because in every city, gentrification is real. So your biggest problem is simply going to be the people that are familiar with your story and are going to hold you back via the social baggage and almost social revenge that they use to continue to hold you back, as opposed to the social capital that you could build by leaving them. It's kind of complicated and it's layered, but I guess if you get it, you get it. I don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up those terms for yourself. But that was a fucking fascinating conversation today, and I want to share it with you guys.